the summer of 1947, against the backdrop of the escalating Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, the quiet desert town of Roswell, New Mexico, became the epicenter of one of the most mysterious and controversial stories in modern history. This is the Roswell Incident, an icon of conspiracy theories and the birthplace of a UFO legend that refuses to die. The story begins in late June or early July 1947, when sheep rancher W. Mac Brazel rode out to check his land after all night of violent thunderstorms. There, he found something unexpected: a field of strange debris scattered over a large area. The pieces were a baffling mix of highly reflective metallic foil, rubber strips, plastic membranes, and thin wooden sticks, too. But the strangest find of all were a few short wooden beams inscribed with peculiar purple-hued symbols, resembling hieroglyphics in a language unknown to anyone on Earth. Brazel tried to piece the fragments together, but failed. Even more astonishingly, he couldn't cut the metal with his knife, nor could he set it on fire. A few days later, Brazel brought some of the debris to the Chaves County Sheriff, who in turn contacted the Roswell Army Airfield, RAAF-2. Major Jesse Marcel, the base's intelligence officer, and counterintelligence officer Sheridan Cavett arrived at the scene. They collected the material and transported it back to the base. Then, the unthinkable happened. On July 8, 1947, Public Information Officer Walter Haut issued an extraordinary press release announcing that the military had recovered a flying disc. 2. The Roswell Daily Record immediately picked up the story, printing the headline, "RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region." It was a media bombshell. But less than 24 hours later, the narrative shifted entirely. The military issued a new statement retracting the initial claim, announcing that the crashed object was nothing more than a weather balloon. A photograph was taken of Major Jesse Marcel examining the weather balloon wreckage, which became the official proof that the whole affair was a misunderstanding. For the public, the matter was closed, and the story was buried for over 30 years. But, as we shall see, this silence was merely the calm before the storm. In 1978, nuclear physicist and UFO researcher Stanton Friedman revived the case when he interviewed Jesse Marcel. In that interview, Marcel dropped a bombshell. The weather balloon was a cover story. The real debris, he claimed, was not of this world, and everyone involved was sworn to secrecy. This was followed in 1980 by the book The Roswell Incident by Charles Berlitz and William Moore, which cemented the conspiracy theory. An alien spacecraft had crashed, the military recovered the bodies, and everything was transported to a secret base in a massive cover-up. The story spread like wildfire, transforming Roswell from a forgotten incident into the most famous UFO mystery in history. Over the following decades, more witnesses emerged. Some recounted seeing the bodies of small, strange beings with large heads and wide eyes being transported from the crash site. Others spoke of a tinfoil-like material with an astonishing property. If you crumpled or folded it, it would return to its original, perfectly smooth shape, as if it had a memory. Flight engineer Robert Porter, who was part of the crew that loaded the debris onto a plane, testified, "I was told it was a flying saucer. The material was lightweight and small enough to fit inside the trunk of a car." In the 1980s, mysterious documents known as Majestic 12, MJ-12, surfaced, allegedly revealing a top-secret committee formed by President Truman to manage extraterrestrial spacecraft and alien affairs. While many considered these documents to be forgeries, they fueled the fires of conspiracy. The final straw came in 1995 when British entrepreneur Ray Santilli presented a shocking black and white video purportedly showing the autopsy of a Roswell alien corpse. Over 20 million viewers watched it, and it became a global sensation until Santilli admitted years later that the film was an elaborate hoax and a staged reenactment. But by then, the myth had grown too large to be killed. In 1994, under mounting pressure from Congress and the public, the U.S. Air Force revealed the truth from its perspective. The crashed object was not a simple weather balloon, but part of a top-secret program called Project Mogul. The project's aim was to launch massive balloons carrying highly sensitive microphones to high altitudes to spy on Soviet nuclear tests. One such balloon train was launched on June 4th, 1947, and contact was lost with it just 17 miles from Mac Brazel's ranch. The report explained that the strange hieroglyphic symbols were merely designs on reinforced tape used in radar targets, and the alleged alien bodies were nothing more than crash test dummies used in later parachute experiments. Regardless of the truth, the Roswell incident has created a massive cultural and economic reality. The small town has become a global tourist destination, home to the International UFO Museum, a flying saucer-shaped McDonald's, and an annual UFO festival that attracts thousands from around the world. Roswell has become synonymous with aliens, and its story has inspired Hollywood films, TV series like The X-Files, and entire generations to search the skies. More than 75 years later, the Roswell incident remains a mirror reflecting something deeper in the human psyche than scattered debris in a desert. It is a story about our desire to believe in others in this vast universe, about our deep-seated mistrust of governments and their official narratives, and about the power of a single story to create a myth that defies time and logic. Whether what fell in the New Mexico desert was just a secret spy balloon or something else entirely, the real question that Roswell poses remains unanswered. Are we alone in this universe,